Hockey it is, and India has gone through the two phases. In fact, the second phase is about to begin. So, as the coach says, Craig Fulton, that any team has to go through two phases. One is the pool stage, and the aim was to be in the top two, which India has succeeded in doing. Now, the two crucial matches come up, and they are all in the knockout stage. So, if India loses against Korea in the first semi-final, it is out, and the other semi-final will be between China and Japan. Sandeep, my question to you is that there has been a bit of a surprise about the huge margins, whether it is Bangladesh or the other two teams, over a dozen goals, 10 plus goals against Pakistan. So, uh, what do you feel about these margins? Does it really help a team, or what do you think?
No, I think it does help a team. I think if the momentum and the rhythm, everything is going well, and you're able to get into the opposition striking circle, you're able to get that combination working, then why not get those goals? Because at the end of the day, goals help. I mean, if a player gets a hat trick, if a player gets 4 goals, he gets 2 goals. There's a great penalty flick going in. There's a good stroke going in. There are good combinations being formed, and the communication improves. I think more and more goals you get, the better the communication is. That's the reason why you're getting goals. Also, yes, there is no getting away from the fact that these teams may not be as strong as India. India is world number three right now, and most of them are all out of the world top 10, except for Malaysia, probably, which is 10th or 11th, if I'm not mistaken. The rest are all 15, 16, 18, 19 that way. So yes, the opposition is weak, but having said that, you still require a certain amount of communication to be able to score those goals, and I think that is creditable.
So, looking at the first semi-final, which is going to be between India and Korea. Now, even before that, the way Malaysia couldn't make it last night against China with a four each draw, and a very very disappointed Malaysian coach was there, quite visibly disturbed. Some of the Malaysian players were in fact broke down. What were your thoughts on the Malaysia versus China match? And there, critically, the commentators kept saying that Malaysia is way superior, but somehow China manages to pull a rabbit out of the hat occasionally, and this was one of those nights.
I think I saw China beat Korea, and Korea led 2-0 off two penalty corners from Yang, number 25 there, a man who's 39 years old. Their captain, by the way, is 40 years old. They've got another player who's 38 years old. They have five players who are above 30. So it's a granddad's army. It's not even a dad's army looking at modern hockey, because you really can't last. And believe me, the 39 and the 40-year-old, which includes the captain, were not substituted for 2 quarters, the third and the fourth. I don't know how you can play at that rate, at that speed, at that pace for 2 quarters without being substituted, which also says that their bench strength is not great, which is probably something that India would be very, very keenly looking at. But having said that, China tactically beat Malaysia. Malaysia can be superior, India can be superior, any of these teams can be superior. But what China was in Chennai in ACT, I think at that time they were getting things together, and out here they played at a blinding speed. They play with a very, very decent, I won't say solid defense, but a very decent defense. But they actually rattle you with speed, and that's exactly what I saw with Korea. The fourth quarter, they scored 3 goals. They scored the third match winner with 30 seconds in the match. So it's not a team that's going to be a pushover. I somehow feel that the Japan China semifinal could be a 50-50, and I do give a little bit more margin to China because it's a host. They have the crowds with them, they have that kind of energy that they can bring into the match. But yes, China tactically beat Malaysia. Malaysia may be superior, but I think the coach needs to answer for a lot.
Okay, your first prediction, wearing the prediction hat, India versus South Korea, the first semi-final. Who wins, according to you?
I think it's a tough game. It's a extremely tough game because Korea will come in with all the experience that. Just imagine that number 25 played the 2004 Olympics when Dilip Tirthi was playing. The man is still playing, and Dilip Tirthi is the Hockey India president. So you can imagine the kind of experience he's probably gained. And I think Korea uh, I mean, takes a lot of momentum of that particular experience of these players, and I think that will be crucial for them. Having said that, the the ball is in India's court. India should be easily winning this match. When I say easily, I mean a 3-1, 4-2, 4-1, those kind of margins that I'm looking at. It can also be big because once India gets into the momentum, it gets that rhythm going right from the first quarter, they can easily get those big goals. But it's a India's game to win and win it comfortably, if not easily. I think a 4-1, 4-2 margin for me is excellent against South Korea.
दूसरे सेमीफाइनल की बात करते हैं तो उसमें चाइना वर्सेस जापान है। तो अभी जैसे आपने बताया कि चाइना के पास काफी सीनियर प्लेयर्स हैं और बेंच स्ट्रेंथ उनका पुअर है, तो जब जापान के साथ खेलेंगे तो ऑब्वियसली उनके हित में ये बात रहेगी कि कितने हजार दर्शक उनके लिए चीख रहे होंगे, चिल्ला रहे होंगे। तो जापान के क्या चांसेस हैं कि वो चाइना को हरा सके?
आई थिंक जापान इस मैच में उस तरह से भी उतरेगा ना कि वो रेनिंग एशियन गेम्स चैंपियन है। दे आर द वंस हु वन द लास्ट टाइम इन जकार्ता, दे बीट मलेशिया इन द फाइनल। बट मुझे अभी भी लगता है कि China or Japan, they play on counter attacks. They played very high speed in terms when they have the ball from the midfield area से लेके जो opposition striking circle है उसमें वो बहुत speed अपना बढ़ाते हैं. So when two teams are playing at that, I think the teams that get the breaks, the teams that get the first initial goals are the ones who will start putting the pressure. I think if China does that, for example, if China gets the opening goals, Japan will have it very tough. And I still think China is my favorite for that particular semi-final. Not only of being a host, but a team that has come together at the right time, peaked at the right time. And I still believe it could be a 3-2 China.
तो इसका मतलब है कि फाइनल इंडिया और चाइना के बीच होगा?
आराम से हो सकता है, मतलब and it will be a good game, believe me, it's going to be a very good game because जब आप host के साथ खेलते हो एक final के अंदर, then you are always wary, and when you are wary, then you bring down your play, you slow it down by 20%, which also gives the opposition a little bit of a chance. So I think in that way, it will be a well contested final.
इंडियन टीम में आपको कुछ ग्रे एरियाज दिखाई देते हैं?
I think the grey areas are probably still the fourth quarter. I think अभी भी fourth quarter हमारा अभी भी थोड़ा बहुत loose play हो जाता है. I think also ये मुझे कहना भी पड़ेगा कि जब आप 10-12 गोल मार चुके हो और आपके पास फोर्थ क्वार्टर चल रहा है, you kind and Harmanpreet and Varun, not Varun, but Harmanpreet, Hardik, Mandeep, the coach himself has agreed that sometimes their focus just lifts a little bit off. You know, they just go off a bit. Okay, 10 गोल हो चुके हैं, 11 गोल हो चुके हैं. लेकिन जब आप सेमीफाइनल खेलोगे, आप कोरिया खेलोगे या फाइनल में खेलोगे, अगर आपने कोरिया को हरा दिया, आपने अगर 10 सेकंड के लिए भी फोकस आया, the other team is going to take advantage of that. Just imagine if you get a yellow card, the other team takes advantage and scores a goal because you're down to 10. And I think cards are going to be crucial for India. Korea is going to come hard on you. They are trying to rattle you. They will try and see that you get a green or a yellow card so they can have one player less from the Indian side to be able to take advantage of. These are the areas that one has to be very, very careful, especially Varun, who probably has played excellent Asian games, but sometimes he just loses it a bit. You know, as a player, he loses it a bit. But I think the rest of the things are working out okay. I think the team itself has understood what happened 4 years back when they lost to Malaysia in the semi-final, and I don't think they really want to repeat this. They look hungry, honestly.
It was interesting to see, and this can be our closing point. After the match against Bangladesh, I saw how they shook hands, and the Bangladeshi players had the stars in their eyes, kind of, as if they're shaking hands with an idol. So there was Harmanpreet, Jarmanpreet, there was Mandeep, then there was Lalit. I mean, even someone like me, I've sort of mugged up those names by heart, and you can put a face to that name. These are all new stars. PR Srijesh, Pathak, the other goalkeeper. So it makes one feel happy, and it also shows that the game has lifted considerably in India.
No, it has. It has. I mean, as everybody has always said, the better you do, the more goals you score, the more tournaments you win, the higher the ranking goes. People start paying attention. You are world number 3 now. You already won the Olympic bronze medal. You have been playing a very consistent form of hockey, so people are happy in a sense that चलो जीत रहे हैं, goals भी हो रहे हैं, आप बाकी टीमों को भी हरा रहे हो. Bangladesh, I think the only place where they probably overpower us was in the media, where 4 Bangladeshi journalists to 3 Indian journalists. So I think they were a little happy. हम वहाँ तो at least जीत गए, and that was a joke going around there actually. But there was a time in Bangladesh when Dharraj Pillay, Shahbaz Ahmed from Pakistan, in my opinion, the best player I have ever seen. They used to play the league in Bangladesh, you know. So there was a time when Bangladesh hockey was doing extremely well. But I think of late in the last decade or so, the stock has fallen not only because lack of talent, I think probably, but also because lack of focus, attention from the government. That is very crucial for Indian hockey. That has been probably the biggest thing. I mean, Odisha government coming in, putting that money up, putting the sponsorship up, ensuring infrastructure and all of that. All of this goes hand in hand. You just can't take talent and start running on the pitch or start playing hockey. So I think all of this goes hand in hand, and India's done well in that regard.
ओके, क्लोजिंग कमेंट, फाइनल कमेंट। और मुझे पता है कि प्रेडिक्शन करना आपको कितना तकलीफ दे लगता है लेकिन अब जब गुरुजी सामने बैठे हो, हमारे सारे दर्शक और हम सब जानना चाहेंगे कि फाइनल में आपका क्या प्रेडिक्शन है, क्या इंडिया गोल्ड जीत सकेगा?
नहीं, मैं तो शुरू से कह रहा हूँ कि दिस इज अ टीम दैट इज 90% probably amongst everybody, including Neeraj Chopra. Let me put it that way. Let's put it into perspective. Amongst all the teams that have come here at the Asian Games, the one that is certain you can put a medal around their neck, which is gold, is the Indian hockey team. Anything less than that is pure disaster, not only in terms of the loss, but in terms of qualifying for the Olympics, because you have to go through a qualifying round again. But I think for the morale, for everything, this team will be very badly hurt. Hurt in this, every athlete gets hurt, whether you finish sixth or whether you finish with a silver. But I think this particular team is like, you know, they are they look so this thing hungry that you know ये gold medal मुझे चाहिए चाहिए चाहे कुछ भी हो जाए. But the same, understand the same happened 4 years back, and that was really tragic. I was in the semi-final then. I just believe my eyes we lost that match. That should not happen, and I think that is where the team probably has steeled itself that वो repeat नहीं करेंगे. So I think in that sense the team is on good ground.
Point taken. So India should expect to win the hockey gold, because that, as Sandeep says, would give them that extra leverage, that morale boost and confidence for the Paris Olympics next year. And let's hope for the best. The boys are doing a fantastic job. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.